Good evening. Two brothers who admitted stealing poppy appeal tins from hotels in Sandwell and Birmingham have been jailed for 12 months on Armistice Day. Adam and Carl Tukey, who are 22 and 25, were caught on CCTV taking a collection box from the Holiday Inn on Wolverhampton Road and in Birmingham city centre. A security guard on New Street recognised the brothers, who were arrested on Saturday.
We found it really embarrassing to actually ring up the British Legion and inform them that the charity box had been stolen. We didn't think there was a need to secure the charity box, as obviously everybody in the country gets behind the poppy appeal every year. We thought it'd be quite safe on our reception desk.
The last surviving widow of a First World War veteran laid a wreath in his honour today at a remembrance service at the National Memorial Arboretum in Staffordshire. 93-year-old Wilfred Ellis was shot and gassed in France but survived. Mark Goff reports.
In quiet solemnity and with sorrow in her heart, Dorothy Ellis remembered her husband Wilfred. One of the many who endured the horrors of the Great War. And despite being 93, today is her birthday, Dorothy insisted on forsaking her wheelchair to walk the few steps to the memorial at Alrowas in Staffordshire for today's remembrance service. She's the last surviving widow of a World War I veteran. Her steps were small, but the gesture was enormous. A helping hand, but Dorothy was determined to lay the wreath herself for her Wilfred.
On Armistice Day for him was a very silent, solemn day, and a day that was set aside for one reason only: remembering.
Wilfred survived being shot and gassed, and his story was the inspiration for the book War Horse. He died in 1982 in Devon, and he was one of the 1,000 remembered today in a 2-minute silence at the service at the National Memorial Arboretum. Services too around the region. Pupils at the Q3 Academy in Birmingham created their own memorial garden in the school grounds. This was Leicester's Market Square. It was a day when the region stopped to remember. Mark Goff, ITV News, Staffordshire.
It's 3 days since Typhoon Haiyan hit the Philippines, and families in the Midlands are still waiting to hear if their loved ones are safe. Hundreds of thousands of people are now homeless, and Midlands AIDS workers are on their way to help. Sally Lockwood reports.
10,000 lives are now feared lost, and hundreds of thousands more are homeless, with no means of contacting worried relatives here who know little more than the desperate images they're seeing on television. Rhea Deif lives in Leicester, but is originally from Samar province. It's been ripped apart by the storm, and she's still waiting for news of her family.
I haven't been able to sleep. I haven't got enough strength to even get up a bed. I just hope that they're really in good hands at the moment, because I'm just so worried about them. I haven't got a clue what's happening to them. I'm just giving everything to God, keeping the faith, and maybe one day I'll be able to have a news from them.
This is what Rhea's house looked like before. She has no idea what it looks like now, but this is a photograph from an area nearby. The storms left behind a humanitarian catastrophe, with survivors in desperate need of food and water. Disaster relief workers from the Midlands are preparing to fly to the Philippines. Zaid Al-Rawni from Birmingham spoke to us from Heathrow before boarding his flight.
We have our team based in the Midlands, our emergency response team. We're the first responders. So we're flying out today, making sure that everything that is needed, warehouses, supplies, and all the usual things that we need to help us respond to this type of emergency are in place. And then a bigger team will follow from the Midlands, from Birmingham, and join us out here.
The challenge facing aid workers is enormous. Many survivors can't wait much longer for basic items, while relatives here face the torturous wait for news from their loved ones. Sally Lockwood, ITV News.
A cemetery chapel has been destroyed in an arson attack. The Watts Lane Chapel in Rugby had recently been refurbished and reopened in March, but now the interior has been completely destroyed, including this historic coffin stand, which the council says is irreplaceable. Workers are now counting the cost of the damage before they can begin to rebuild the chapel. Meanwhile, a 1600-year-old coffin has been opened for the first time by archaeologists. The ancient coffin was found in a field in Warwickshire by two men with metal detectors. Forensic tests will now be carried out on the remains, and experts hope it will contain clues about life in Roman Britain. Football and Port Vale are through to the second round of the FA Cup after a comfortable 4-0 win over non-league Shortwood United. Jennison Myrie-Williams scored the first of his 2 goals after 15 minutes. Chris Birchall doubled their lead on the half hour before Myrie-Williams and Chris Lines completed the scoring. Now let's get the weather forecast from Lucy.
It could be cool in Birmingham, but somewhere in the world, the sun is shining. ITV Central Weather, sponsored by Turkish Airlines.
Hello there. Well, good news for tomorrow. We are going to see some good spells of sunshine. We just need to get all of this rain out of the way. You can see it here on the radar. It's been spreading through today. And we've got this other band of rain here that's moving through over the next few hours. A little heavier, a little more persistent before it turns drier behind it for tomorrow. So as for tonight, cloudy and wet for all of us, and it's going to be a little bit milder than last night because of all that cloud. Temperatures holding up to 7 or 8 degrees Celsius, and then from tomorrow morning we're going to start to see the brightness appear in the north. That will extend further southwards as we head into the afternoon.
ITV Central Weather, sponsored by Turkish Airlines.
There are more details and updates on our stories on the website itv.com/central. We're back within daybreak, but for now from the late team, good night.